Welcome back to the Whole Journey podcast. As y'all can see, we just switched up the seating today. I'm in the middle. Today we are going to be, these are some questions for Brianna and Makidia from a single woman to married women. And this will hopefully help some of our single women in the audience and maybe also some of the married women as well. You're able to take something away from this episode. So I am going to be asking them questions. I feel like I'm in the hot seat. Y'all are. And they did not get to see the questions beforehand. So this is going to be all, oh gosh. Yeah.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Okay.
So we're going to start off slow.
Okay.
Start off slow. So this question is, what was your perspective of marriage when you were single, and how has it changed since being married?
So I'm a little bit prepared for this one because I thought that we were supposed to prepare our biggest misconceptions of marriage. And so I kind of made some note of that when I was on my way here today. And one of the things you said, how did you say it? Your biggest, what did you say?
What was your perspective on marriage when you were single, and how has it changed since being married?
Yes. Okay. So I thought that just because me and my, at the time, my partner, my spouse, we weren't married then. I thought because we had been together for a long time and had dated for a while, that we were automatically ready for marriage. Like, it's just another day, it's just an official title. And a friend of mine told me real fast during year one, because she did a lot of saves, that, and I would just be crying, I just don't understand what's going on. We ain't never been through this kind of stuff. And she was like, girl, the devil ain't threatened by no girlfriend. And I was like, now don't y'all take it, because I done told her she needed it. I didn't take my phrase. The devil ain't threatened by no girlfriend. And I'm like, oh. I just thought, that because we had a long time together, that we knew each other, that we had been through all type of stuff together when we were dating. I just thought that getting married was just okay, we just still in the deal, so everything will be okay. But when she explained it to me like that, it's you're right. As a girlfriend, I mean, there's no shade to the girlfriends, but you're just a girlfriend. You know?
No, it's no covenant.
Yeah. And so covenant marriage, there's so much power in covenant. And, you really, I went to something yesterday and the lady was saying, it's really three people in the marriage. It's you, your husband, and God. Mm-hmm. And so, that was it, the three-cord strand can't easily be broken. Mm-hmm. And so that's a threat to the devil. And so as a result, the things that you face as a married woman is way different than a girlfriend. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm I'm not talking about being together 2 years, we've been together for a long time. And so just literally year one, months in, stuff started happening. And I'm where is this coming from? And she told me that. And so, yeah. It changed my whole perspective on marriage.
You need a perspective shift when you're entering marriage, because it is so different than what we're accustomed to. I think when I was growing up, everybody was married. My grandparents were married 60 plus years. My parents were married. All the aunties and uncles, all I saw was marriage.
Yeah.
So even being single, I knew I'm gonna get married,
right.
And I think I dated in that way too. Once I got serious, I dated in the way of, you're gonna be married,
right?
This could be your husband. So I think I dated a lot smarter because I had husband in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And even when dating, I would tell guys I am not looking for a friend.
Yeah.
I know I want a husband.
Yeah.
And I was early 20s.
Yeah.
Talking like that. So I think my early thoughts about marriage was everybody do it. It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like destiny for me. You're gonna get married. And a guy told me that when I was when he found out I was engaged. he was kind of talking about, dang, I missed out. I knew you would have been a good wife, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that I just always felt like this is what you do.
Yeah. It's a lot more work than just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think with marriage, a lot of people just see the glitz and glamour of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they, we see the weddings, we see the ring,
Yeah.
I see, all the things, but it's like the marriage is so much more than that.
Yeah.
I think more people are prepared for their wedding day
Yeah.
they are for the actual marriage. And so when marriage comes and you hit year one and you're going through the transitions of like, okay, this is our first time living together, or this is our first time having to navigate adult life, and this is my first time having to coordinate with somebody to make decisions about my life. That's the part that becomes tricky, because it's like, well, we took phenomenal wedding pictures. It's supposed to just work, but it doesn't work like that. You have to make it work. Like, you have to work it.
Yeah.
Come on with it.
Gotta make it work. I feel like, so Keita, you were saying that, like, we're ready for the wedding. Okay, so when you're dating, and you said when you were dating, you were telling men, like, I'm looking for a husband, not a friend. Mm-hmm. There are some people who like, you find your friend, and then that'll develop into something long term, a husband.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decipher between the two? Like,
I like to say date with husband in mind. Like date with that attitude of, this could potentially be my husband. And so we don't have time to sit back and kick it. Because my belief, and this is just my belief, I could be totally wrong, is guys ask things of girls to see how far they can push you. And when you go over that boundary, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
okay.
And so you have to be mindful, because honestly, this is something I hear a lot. Girls getting invited to go smoke with a guy. But then he'll tell you, I don't even talk to girls that smoke. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's always a test.
you just invited me to do this thing with you. Now I'm partaking, and now you don't talk to girls. Yeah. But I think that you get asked to do things to see what your pushback will be, or if you just go on with the flow. So we have to be clear about what our boundaries are.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of rules. I don't advise a whole bunch of rules, because I needed rules because I didn't know how to govern myself back then.
Gotcha.
So when you do a lot of dating foolishly, I'm telling myself, you make a lot of mistakes. You go into it, how they talk about love bombing now.
Yeah.
Where you have no boundaries. You just kind of like, hey, whatever you want to do, I'm with it. So you have to develop some kind of structure to dating, because you don't want to do something that would, count you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That is good. And it's a lot of tests. We encounter that a lot, like the men testing women a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's fair though, because we as women, I feel like we come in with our list, a list of all the things that we want. And then you have women that like, I'm not finna be cooking for no man that ain't my husband. It's like, well, how you gonna know you know how to cook? Like, how you gonna know you know how to, that's a wife duty. Well, boo, even when you get a job, you got to interview first. They got to know you capable of the skills, Yeah. So it's like, that's the misconception that people think that marriage is just a light switch. Like, once I get married, I'm going to start cooking. No, baby, you need to start cooking now. You need to start building that habit, building that muscle now, so that guy can see like, oh, okay, she can cook. Okay, she can keep
and scripture tells us, men find wives.
Yes.
Like, you have to already be that. It's got to be in your DNA. And my husband tell me all the time, like, I'll go to him like, dang, somebody, this person's so phenomenal. They should be married already. I wonder, like, why they not? It's about Makidia. All women are not wives.
That's true.
And it's kind of weird to hear that from him, because
it's true.
I grew up with a lot of marriages. So I figure, hey, everybody, it's a man out there for you.
Everybody.
Yeah. But his thing is always like, she may not be a wife. She might just present this way. And then behind closed doors, she like this or she like that.
Yeah.
And it never even crosses my mind that this person could be duplicitous in some way. But
I joke with Reggie all the time, like, what would you do if I couldn't cook? People like, oh, we wouldn't be married. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like, nah, he like, oh, I mean, it wouldn't be a what would I do? It's like we wouldn't be here.
yeah.
I mean, he knew it. He knew that he wanted a wife. They knew how to cook. So he was like, I mean, if you didn't know how to cook, we wouldn't be even in this conversation right now. Because you may not have been the woman for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that is like social media a lot though, because they like, don't cook or clean for, a man that's not your husband. And, or, you and I talked about this. Like, you don't want to feel like you don't wasted time, like doing stuff for a man that's not your man. But
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because preparation time is never wasted time.
Right.
So even if kind of like Keita said, you be the wife, like hey, you may not be cooking for him, but hey, I cooked today. Do you want a meal? You know what I'm saying? You building the muscle regardless, because if he not the one, when the one comes, you already been cooking 3 and 4 times a week. You already been cleaning. You already used to, being a helpmate already. Yeah. It's not about the person that you're with. It's about you.
You building your muscle.
Focus on you. Yeah. Like, you're not doing it for that person. And I feel like when you look at it like, well, I did all this stuff for him and I did it. Don't do it for him. Do it for you. And when you do it that way, like, I'm preparing to be a wife, then you realize that preparation time is not wasted time. So you didn't waste nothing.
You're right.
You prepared yourself to, be a partner or be a wife or be whatever. It just might not have been to that person.
Yeah.
Right. But if you count now, you're not ready for marriage. Oh, you are not. If you are,
don't keep score.
Keeping score. That's a telltale sign you're not there yet.
Yeah.
I cooked 3 times this week. And okay, boo-boo.
Yeah.
Get you a little more practice.
The score will never not. I tell you that. The score will never be even.
Yeah.
And
my husband has y'all know, he does these big, well, Keita's the wrong spokesperson, because she was like, I could have got him a billboard for what he did. I was like, okay, Keita, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great now. But no, she is an advocate for like celebrating when he's done these, like he has done these big elaborate acts for me. And I can't, if he was keeping score, I would lose.
Oh, me too, for sure.
Because I can't keep up with his, that the way he gives and the way he, thinks things out, and I can't keep up with that. So the playing field would never be even if we kept score.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Are we in the hot seat or are you in the hot seat?
Yeah.
She's taking this. You don't know the notepad.
Yeah.
Don't keep score. That's the question.
I need to take some notes. Okay. So, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make after getting married?
Oh, wait. So many.
My mouth.
Oh.
My mouth.
Okay.
And it's still adjusting. It's like I got so we got married October 12th, 2019. You know how you get braces. You'd have had braces before, and you have to continue to go back and get them tightened.
Mm-hmm.
So the braces was put on then, and I'm still getting adjusted.
Okay.
It's a lot better, and I will tell you, I can't take any credit for it. The only reason it has gotten better, and I feel like it's gotten better over like the last 6 months. How long has it been since we went to Woman Evolve? Probably 6 months.
September.
Like that.
It's gotten better since then because my spiritual walk has gotten better, because I'm able to hear from God better, because a lot of times it's still in there. What I got to say is still in there. That didn't go away, but now my ability to hear God say, shut up, Like, shut up, leave that alone. Like, my self-control is better. And so, yeah, my mouth was the biggest adjustment because I grew up with a very vocal mother. She was gonna speak her mind. And so I thought that was okay. Like, yo, you gonna hear what I got to say. And so I had to learn, like, that was part of my submission. Like, you don't have to have the last say. You ain't gotta have the last say. Just shut up, you know. And so now I shut up and text what I gotta say to y'all.
Yeah. A different route.
Yeah.
A different route. I think my biggest adjustment was kids, because he had kids coming in. So I had
That deserves a whole
show of its own.
family.
It does. So my biggest adjustment was the kind of abandoning the idea that it was going to be me, my husband, and our children that we produce.
Yeah.
And so it took years for me to let that go. Even though there were other children there and I knew that was never going to be my reality, the idea of it, because anytime you have an expectation that's here and reality is somewhere down here, this is disappointment.
Yeah.
And so I operated in so much disappointment and resentment and why can't we ever, or, like all of that, just I could not be satisfied. And so that was the biggest adjustment for me, is adapting to a family that's already a family, and I'm kind of being added to it. Yeah.
But I'm going to say something. Yesterday when I went to the Respectfully Social event, the Loving Yourself with Gwen Wade, she said something yesterday. She was saying in marriage, sometimes you're not even going through it for you. You're going through it for somebody else. And so by the time I met you, you were already out of that. Why me? Why I gotta do this? And I felt like you had come to terms. By the time I met you, you had come to terms with, like, this is my life. I'm gonna make the best of it.
Yeah.
And because you were able to help coach me through, look, this is your life. You have to make the best of it. You have to navigate this way. So that's something to think about. Like, that's not in marriage. It's just in life in general.
Right.
Sometimes what you go through is for somebody else, to be able to help pull them through. So.
And when I reflect on that time, I had no model for what that looked like. Nobody had blended. Now, people had outside kids, but you know how that go.
Yeah.
Them David Tate in the 80s.
Yeah, them the secret kids.
Yeah.
And ain't no blending.
And I always saw, like, wives keep the men away from their other children.
Yeah.
And I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
So I was surrounded by marriages, but I also had some models of marriages that I definitely didn't want. And so I knew that somewhere deep inside we could make this work.
Yeah.
Like, we could make it work blended. And I had to get a grip on it because they all moved in.
Yeah.
What was I going to do?
Yeah.
Move in my car?
Quick.
Yeah.
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 Right after the wedding.
Well, they didn't move in right after the wedding, but by the time I had Aiden, everybody had moved in. And so
Congratulations, here's your wedding gift.
Yeah.
So I was so Aiden was like 5 years after. So within 5 years of being married, we went from kids on weekends to kids moved
In the house.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day, every meal, every vacation. Yeah.
I think, like, something that I struggle with, and that will, something I can try to work on it now. But I know a lot of things, we talk about it a lot. It's like you think you got a hold of it until, like, you get with someone and they start bringing things out of you that you thought you were healed from, that you thought you were over. I struggle with pride. I struggle with pride a lot, and, like, not letting nobody think that they played me and stuff like that. So that is something that I feel like I would have to work on.
Maybe.
Before.
You either gonna work on it or it's gonna get worked out of you.
Yeah.
I just told y'all that the other day. Like, I was so mad at my spouse. Like, I was so mad, and, like, he was wrong. Like, in the physical, in every realm, physical, spiritual. He was wrong. And I, in the natural, I had every right to be like, man, I'm done. I'm tired of this and this. And I heard just so clear, like, you still gotta get them something to eat, right? I'm like, get who something to eat? Whoa. Like, so that, and if I would have been in pride, I wouldn't have listened.
Mm-hmm.
But something that, like, God has told me over the last, like, once again, 4 to 6 months is like, no matter what, and this is a nugget for single women, married women, no matter what type of husband he is, I still have to show up as a good wife.
You do.
Like, because it's not my service to him, it's my service to God.
Yeah.
So,
if I could scream that from the mountaintops, I'm going to tell you, that like tit for tat,
it never worked.
pettiness, back and forth, marriage is for adult Christians.
Yeah.
This is not for the ones who still need milk.
Yeah.
This is for the ones who can tolerate some meat.
Yeah.
Because there is a level of submission and humility that you are going to have. And if you don't know who you are in Christ, you'll think you're doing it for your husband.
Yeah.
And
if I would have heard
to do
this
with him.
if I was on the other side of this camera and I had heard this like a year ago, I'm like, girl, she weak.
You did hear it a
She
year ago.
weak.
You heard this. How many years y'all been married?
I've been hearing it the whole time.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, like, the old me would have, like, her weakness. Like, me, can't be a good wife. Girl, you weak. Couldn't be me. Yeah. That's what I heard all those years. But when I tell you, as a result of it, when we all heard it, because my pastor said it publicly, when he prophesied to me in September. Was it September? Yeah, I think it was. And he was saying that what I really crave is peace. Like, more than anything, more than wealth, more than, like, anything, what I crave is peace. And that was one of the keys to unlocking that peace. And so when I tell you life is so good peace-wise, because I'm in a different place mentally because of that. Like, it just be like, hey, no matter what you do, I'm still, what you want for supper?
Yeah.
Let me go in here and wash these clothes, and I'm telling you, the old me would have been like, girl, you a fool. But now it's just be like, I ain't doing this for you. And I have the amount of favor that I have been able to unlock with God. It's like, he literally makes the impossible happen. Like, when I be trying to figure stuff out, like, Lord, how I'm gonna do this, from paying a bill to the simplest things, like, Lord, how I'm gonna get this done, and the provision just, like, unlocks.
Yes.
It's like I have a I can't lose mentality, and for me, that makes my life is good.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing I can't get, but it's because of my obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
But we talked about that years ago, like, when you stop bucking against your husband so much, when you stop resisting and fighting, like, God gives favor, God gives grace. And some of the ideas, which our husbands are entrepreneurs, some of the ideas when they initially come sound like, y'all gotta be kidding.
Yeah.
And there will be, I'll speak for myself here. Sometimes there'll be something that rises up in my spirit like, girl, it's not gonna work. But because I'll be like, all right, God, hey, I'm following you, so you got to make this work. They work.
Yeah.
And I know it's not because my husband has such great ideas. Like,
that's one of your nuggets, though. You told that before. Like,
yeah,
you trust God with him.
Right.
Now that changed the whole perspective.
And it'll keep you from having to manipulate so much, because manipulation is witchcraft, but you also don't want a husband who feels like you're doing things to him and he don't really know what it is, so he's not going to trust you.
Yes.
But if you can be his cheerleader, be in his corner, even when it's an idea that you are not 100% with, but you can go to God and say, all right, God, this your kid.
You heard how stupid that was, Lord? Did you hear it too?
Yeah, like, God, this is your kid.
Mm-hmm.
You put me in position to not lead, but to follow. You know, like that's my role. So help me in my role, but help him lead well.
Yeah.
You know, don't lead me out here
Yeah.
with this person.
Right. Yeah.
Because we don't call him nothing else but this person.
Yeah. Amen. Person. Amen.
They feel about they get my drift.
Oh, next question. Please.
Is there anything that you wish you had done differently while you were single?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it more.
So I feel like I enjoyed my singleness, especially like the last year right before we got engaged. Like I was just in my own space, had my own place, doing my own thing. I wish I would have started therapy then. I wish I would have known what I know now about therapy, so I could have worked out some of that trauma that I didn't know I had before I got married. Okay. Because once I got married, all those trauma wounds got, scratched up. The bandages came off, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? But it was already always there and laying dormant. I just didn't know. Well, I didn't know what trauma was. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, what is childhood trauma? What is trauma, period? And so I wish I would have started therapy before getting married to work on me.
Okay. Dang, I want to dig in that, but I'm not a therapist. I'm on a podcast.
You just want her answer.
Yeah. I feel like people should know you take that with you. And there's an expectation when we get in long-term relationships or when we call ourselves in love that this person is going to fix us. And when they don't fix, it's like, well, what's wrong with them? We don't ever think about the baggage that we brought in. And if we go on a weekend trip, maybe that's a single bag. We might unpack it. We had it unpacked by Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
But imagine how big the bags are when you've gone on a trip for 2-3 weeks. Now imagine how big those bags are when you've gone on this journey for 32, 33 years.
Yeah.
How long does it take to unpack that?
Yeah.
And you expect this person who came in with bags of their own to help you unpack your stuff, while at the same time
he don't either have
trying to
stuff his own,
or he's trying to unpack his stuff.
Yes.
See, if you don't have enough trust, which I think women sometimes go into relationships a lot more eager to share, but depending on the kind of man that you in here with, he may not even be at the point where he is even acknowledging the fact that he brought baggage in. He may not even be able to see it, and he may not have the capacity to deal with yours because he's not even at a point where he can acknowledge his own.
Yeah.
And this is the person that is going to disappoint you, frustrate you, dismiss your emotions. Like, that's what's going to happen. And you need to have some work done so that you can understand what they have the capacity to hold, because they just might not. And it's not that they hate you, they don't love you, or they don't want to. They just don't have the bandwidth. They don't have the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what working out marriage looks like.
Yeah.
That part that we don't see.
Yeah.
Figuring and working through that.
Oof. I could see this being what Pastor be saying. It's gonna be a series.
A series.
Oh well, yeah. The journey to marriage is gonna need some more parts.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same. Like the thing that you want to do while you're single, the thing that we should have done as single women, is work that stuff out.
Yeah.
Understand the limitations of our partner and understand what is really our work to do.
Yes.
Because I believe that we sometimes have a me issue, and then we can have a we issue. But if we don't know how to differentiate those, everything looks like a we issue.
Or a he issue.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. And I'm telling you, the hardest thing to do is to get in the shower thinking you finna take a real shower. And you get in there and God be like, that's a you problem. Like you get in there talking to God about him and he like, it's you. Woo! It ain't nothing like hearing that. When you trying to complain about the other person, hearing that it's you,
Yeah.
that's
But that's usually where it goes.
Yeah.
Like I have learned. I think our marriage got right. We had the equivalent of a tsunami. That's what I would call it, where everything just drenched. Probably about year 6 going into year 7. But it opened us up enough for him to be able to go to this like marriage retreat with us. And it saved us. Now, I was eager for him to go. I had been wanting to go because God needed to fix Comey real bad. Like he was damaged goods. Like he needed to be fixed. And so I felt like if I could just get him in the room, God would fix him and life would be great. God fixed me. And I did not expect that.
You said y'all was a tsunami, baby. We the storm center.
Girl.
We got the tsunamis, the earthquakes, the all the natural disasters.
we were having them too. I'm telling you, I don't even want to tell myself this bad, but I was so, now I know it's contempt.
Yeah.
I had so much contempt for him. And I would belittle him because I felt like I was the moral superior in our relationship. And so everything he did was wrong. And I had
moral, spiritual superior.
Yes. And so I used to weaponize it. And so he couldn't grow under me because I wasn't a good wife. But I thought I was a good wife.
And would have slapped somebody who told you wasn't.
Oh, I would have.
That's the one you be thinking.
Yeah. And so when we went there, I learned that these were things that I was doing, but it's a part of manipulating and controlling.
Yeah.
Like I needed to have power in an area where I felt like I had none.
Yeah.
And because he had so much stuff was happening, the kids, him and whatever he brought to the table, it was too much. And so I held power in the ways that I could. And a lot of time the person who is saying no is the one with the power.
Yeah.
And my resistance, my no, empowered me.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that was the function of it. But going to that conference, oh, God showed me. And I guess he showed Comey himself sometime later. I didn't even keep count because when he showed me I was a bad wife, I got on it to become a better one. So about year 7 is when you see our relationship really turn around and shift because God needed to shift me. You talking about pride?
Yeah.
Perfection is pride. And I was a perfect wife. Air quote. Perfect wife.
Perfection is pride. That'll preach.
Disaster. I was a disaster of a wife, but I didn't know that.
You didn't see that.
No, I was doing better than the people around me.
Yeah. And it was easier, like you said, to call out what he was doing wrong.
I did it.
You did that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brought these problems in our marriage. I came with nothing.
Yeah. Like you said, perfect.
Yeah.
This heavy, but come on.
I feel like I'm telling all my business. I feel like I'm telling all my business.
Sweetie hit the tip of the iceberg.
He would appreciate this. He probably be sitting back sipping tea like she sure was, y'all.
Yeah. I won't be surprised to see some in the comments. I'm glad you told the truth.
Finally, it's out.
Okay. So, Keita, you kind of touched on this because you said when you were dating, you weren't looking for a friend. You were looking for a husband. So what are some qualities that single women should prioritize when looking or when wanting a husband while dating?
Oh, that's tough. I didn't start out that way. I got to that point because of a trauma that I decided, okay, let me flip this and let me get some boundaries and some structure in place in dating because it was very chaotic for me. But the thing that when I got to the point where I was dating seriously, like about looking for a husband kind of dating or I don't know what you call it, but I structured it so that I had checks and balances. I had boundaries. I was introducing guys to people who I respect and who I felt knew me very well. so that they can say, Because when you meet a guy, you have your love goggles on. You can't really see him.
Yeah.
And so I needed
And you hang all the red flags up like they decoration.
Right. And so when I one of the rules that I was really firm on is we weren't doing any house stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to your house. You're not coming to my house. If we get together, we're going to a physical location. I'm driving. You know, if you choose to drive your car, you drive your car, but I'm definitely driving my car. And a lot of it was to make sure I was not active, because that was a big thing. I was trying to maintain celibacy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't want to get in any compromising positions.
Yeah.
So I'm screening and I'm pre-screening to make sure we don't get in any compromising positions. I think those were the main things. But at that point, I had developed my relationship with God. And so I was trying to really preserve it. And I had gotten to the point where I could hear God very well. And it was important to me that I find somebody who didn't need to learn God, but that they knew God.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big value for me, like finding somebody who was already established in the church.
Yeah.
And guess what? I didn't marry anybody that was already established.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I was going to ask you that.
No, he was not. But I always
But you
say
did meet him at church.
I did meet him at church. So ladies too, just because they go, don't mean the Lord quite in them.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah. And you can't save nobody.
No.
So let that go.
Yeah.
But anyway, I always say he is the gift I didn't know I needed.
Mm-hmm.
But through him, a lot of things were worked out in me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't advise anybody to go in there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be Superwoman and he gonna get married and that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't take that attitude, but do hear God, because there were times even in that relationship where I faltered, where Comey's voice was louder than God's voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself in positions where I have to choose. And that, to me, at this big age, is like a telltale sign that when I'm having to choose between my partner and my God, choose God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you can't possibly see everything, but I think you look for the overall qualities. Like, if you know, we've been here before, we're gonna stay away from salaries, but you know, you want a man that works. We won't quantify how much he makes, but let's say, you know, you want a man with work ethic. You know, you know, you want a man who is capable. That goes back to being a provider. You know, is capable of being a provider. Someone who is not lazy. Like, you can see. You'll see that stuff.
Yeah. I say for my husband, I know your husband, provision is in their DNA.
Yeah.
Like, you see it in them.
Yeah.
And I often say, like, Comey will do, he'll shine shoes if he had to make sure we had what we need.
Yeah.
And you'll see that in a guy. Like, if he cool, chilling, sitting back on the game while you work 2-3 jobs and get extra income in, it's not in his DNA.
Yeah.
He cool watching you struggle.
Yeah.
But
you'll be able to see his even like his money management. Like, if he tells you like, hey, you know, I gotta cut back on things because I got this going on, you can say, okay, well, he has the wherewithal to see, like,
yeah,
at least he ain't finna go broke. You know, he's still just out here living reckless and our lights gonna get cut off. You know, it may be uncomfortable for a season, but at least he was able to acknowledge, like, hey, my money a little tight right now. I need to, you know, kind of put some things on pause, you know, just because that kind of helps you see, because you're going to have to navigate a lot of different seasons.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see how well he can handle certain things, you know?
Yeah, I like that you said you'll be able to see him navigate seasons.
Yeah.
You need to see seasonal development in a person, because maybe, you know, in the summertime that he's upbeat, he's cheerful, he's traveling and going places, but maybe he don't like the winter. And winter brings out a different part of him.
Yeah.
Or think about seasons in your own life. Maybe he cool with you when, you know, you just working like a job you barely like, but when you really get in your element and you start dedicating a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you start moving up and you have your own, maybe that challenges him in a way.
Yeah.
So you need to see like how he adapts to things over time.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like marriage is something somebody should just be in 6 months.
Yeah.
Like you need to watch this person and how they manage over time. How does he deal with loss? What does grief look like? What does hardship look like with him? Because we often, during dating, we see celebratory behavior.
Yeah.
We don't see that, oh, when he get depressed, he withdraws.
I got a good one.
Oh, you got a good one?
Vulnerability.
Oh, yeah.
Is he willing to talk to you? Willing to have hard conversations with you? That is not coming.
Or does he shut down?
Yeah, that's not coming.
Gaslight.
A man that wants to be vulnerable, and some women pray and fast for that for years. Like, Lord, just let him talk to me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His ability to communicate. That's a big one.
Or learn to. Like,
Yeah.
I'm always excited when I get young couples that's coming into therapy together. And just, you know, like that willingness, that eagerness to get in there and, hey, I don't have all the answers. I don't know what to do, but I'm willing to learn, Miss Therapist. Like, you know?
Sounds like. Did you take that from my husband's book or something? Like,
No.
I don't know, but I wouldn't tell me what I'm supposed to do, Katie.
It happens a lot in therapy. Like, as you get like those new couples and they're not quite sure where they're going, but they're looking for direction.
Yeah.
So even if he's not an expert at something, because I do think people become and they evolve and they grow. So even if he's not excellent today, is he willing to learn?
His ability, yes, his ability to learn. Like, we were having that conversation recently, because like a lot of men are prideful to where like they won't ask for help. Like, it don't matter what it is. Like, my husband is quick to, like, you know, some men, like, they can't, for example, buying a car. They want to act like they know all the answers. Like, nah, we got this. If Reggie don't know something, he gonna call. Hey, can you know anything about this? Is it? You know, he doesn't mind going to other men for help or for advice. I think that says a lot about his willingness to learn, his pride. Like, he not too good to ask for help, you know, from people. And so that's important, because if he is too prideful to, you know, sit down and ask for help, then when y'all marriage is going through the rough, it's gonna be hard for him to listen to anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's a therapist or a mentor couple or you or whoever. Like, if he's not willing to just go and seek advice on basic things.
And these are not things that just go away. I think about when you're dating, like the stuff that we kiki and caca about. Y'all probably need to look a little hard at that, because these may be characteristics of this person that will not just change quickly. Like, you laughing about it now, but you're gonna be crying about it later.
Yeah.
So be careful what you endorse with a kiki.
Yeah.
Because you're letting them know, hey, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. We stopping there for it.
Yeah, we can stop there.
And making this a part two.
Yeah, definitely.
Ouch.
I don't have to go. I gotta go back and watch it myself. Take some notes on my notepad out.
Yeah. You got more questions for us? A lot more questions?
Yeah, I do. We're gonna have another. We definitely gonna have a part two. But you know, it's a lot.
It is.
We got a lot of questions for y'all.
It's a lot, and I mean, I don't want it to feel rushed. Like, we have to rush through it. It's a lot. Just like you talked about, it's a lot to unpack. And I feel like we would be doing you or the people who are watching and need this a disservice if we try to rush through it, because it's not a rush. It's not a rushful process. Like, it takes time. So, if we journey into marriage for 4 episodes, we just journey on there.
But I would like to leave them with this. I'm telling you, I know today might have felt really heavy when we talked about the things that matter, but fun matters.
Yes. That's that friend.
Yeah,
comes
John Gottman, he says that in marriage, the first thing to leave is fun, excitement, adventure, like all of those things that helped us have a really good, full dating life.
Yeah.
We get married and the heaviness starts to come and that stuff goes down the drain, but it does not have to. I have so much fun with my husband.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't want to go places without him.
Yeah.
I'm sad when he don't want to tag along. Like, it's a really rewarding feeling because we not, you find him, but we grow through these processes too that are tough processes, but you learn things about yourself, you learn things about the other person, and it's good, it's rewarding, so it's worth the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's one of the things you said that one time we were out of town and you were like, y'all are actually best friends. I'm like, we are. Like, we have a good time together. Like, and the simplest things, like, sitting at home watching HGTV, like, we have fun together. And you wouldn't have, if you would have saw us, and when we first met, we are total opposites. Like, total opposites. Like, people probably like, what y'all got? Well, how y'all been together? What y'all got in common?
Yeah.
And so over time, we have just developed this friendship that's so beautiful and that matters so much. Like, in the times when, you're ready to check out, it's like, but that's my best friend. Like, and I won't talk about this today because that'll start a whole nother thing. But we were talking about, he had involved Keita on the debate we were having a few weeks ago about if we divorced, changing my name. I'm like, dude, I ain't letting the name go. Like, I ain't letting it go. But it's one of the things is like, I have literally, in those times, I think everybody's had them in marriage. Like, man, okay, is this the end of the road? Is this where we split? Is like, and I'm literally sitting there and I'm like, I could not imagine being just a best friend with another person like that. Like, just the level of fun and the level of comfort and just, that's the warm feeling.
I feel like that too.
I can't redo that.
Hear about people divorcing. I don't even know what I would be like without him.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so ingrained. Yeah. We've been married for 15 years. And so, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, I would.
Yeah.
It's in the house and I don't know what I would.
Yeah.
That's power to y'all who are ending. I know that does happen, but God, I pray that never happens.
And for some people, it's necessary, and there's a greater later. But for me, like, and I wanted to make sure I said that, like, this was at times when I was thinking about leaving. Like, is this? And I'm just like, I literally could not imagine
Doing life with anybody.
Yep. So that anchored me on down.
I think we do a really good job of keeping each other in our marriages.
Yeah.
We do a really good job
Yeah.
at that.
Sometimes you drag me. Sometimes you push me. You push me on back. Sometimes you be like, girl, come over here. You drag me. But it's like, okay.
It's temporary, though.
Yeah.
Like, hardship is temporary. It's not permanent. And if we can remember that, we can stay hitched.
Yeah. And the moments that was not funny at all, you look back, you be like, girl, do you remember when?
Yep.
Now you can laugh about it.
Yeah, you laugh about it now.
Remember when that dog got kicked in?
Can you remember that time you had to leave work?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But yeah, it's work, but it's worth it with the right person for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Get some good answers today.
I did. Like I said, I'm going to go back and watch it because, I like to take notes. Yeah, and I'm quick to pull out my notes in a discussion. Like what my notes said. So I think today was real good. Like Brianna said, if we gotta have about 4 journeys
Into marriage.
to marry.
We gonna get y'all. We gonna get y'all there.
Yes.
I want to get them married.
Yeah.
It's so many people I want to get married because I feel like they're good wives.
Yeah.
They need to be married.
Yeah.
Well, till next time. I guess that wraps it up. I'm Tanisha.
I'm Brianna.
I'm Makidia.
And this is the Whole Journey Podcast.